Imagine for a moment waking up to the world not as a place to conquer, not as a stage on which you must dominate, but as a flowing river carrying everything and everyone along its current. You may find yourself grasping for rocks to anchor yourself, clinging to possessions, people, and the patterns of life you think will hold steady. But the river moves, always. It moves with or without your consent. And here lies the paradox. The more you struggle to control what is outside you, the more your mind becomes captive to what you cannot command. And yet, within this turbulence lies a singular clarity. Some things are within your hands. Some things, however, are not. This is the core lesson Epictetus whispers across centuries. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. It sounds so simple, almost trite, but it is the doorway to a freedom that cannot be stolen. Consider the walls of your mind. They are not walls of stone, but of perception. Each judgment, each expectation is a brick placed either with care or with compulsion. When you place bricks haphazardly, when you insist that the river pours for you, the walls crumble, leaving your spirit exposed to the storm. But when you recognize the distinction between what is yours to shape and what is not, each brick becomes steady. Each thought becomes a guardian, not a prisoner. Anger may surge, disappointment may knock, the world may howl with chaos, but the fortress stands. It stands not because you dominate life, but because you no longer mistake life for your adversary. Look at your desires for a moment. How often have you tried to hold on to love, success, approval, or status? How many times have you clasped the wind, thinking it would remain trapped in your hand? This is the human condition. And yet, there is a freedom so profound it passes unrecognized, the freedom of choice. Within the invisible space between stimulus and reaction, between the whisper of circumstance and the motion of your heart, lies a realm untouched by fortune or misfortune. It is there you can decide to respond with reason rather than impulse, to act with virtue rather than fear, to see the world clearly rather than through the lens of attachment. Epictetus teaches that this choice is the one true possession. Guard it fiercely. Now imagine life itself as a theater, each person performing roles not of their own choosing. Some of us play kings and queens, others beggars and jesters. Some are lauded, others ignored. The stage is chaotic, the script's incomplete, and yet the wisdom is in the posture of the actor. A wise actor does not rail against the lines he has been given. He does not curse the audience or demand the stage change to suit him. He inhabits his role fully, with dignity and awareness, and in doing so, he masters what is truly his attention, his choices, his actions. The world remains indifferent, but he remains sovereign. Here is the essence of Stoicism. Power is not in external dominion, but in internal mastery, and so we confront the inevitable. Loss, betrayal, sickness, the fading of beauty, the decay of fortune. The world will strip you bare. Everything you thought permanent will dissolve. And yet, if you have learned to control what is yours, the movement of your own mind, the clarity of your judgment, the steadiness of your intention, then nothing taken is truly lost. The external is fleeting, it comes and goes, a shadow over the landscape of life. But the internal, awareness, reason, virtue, remains untouched. You become like a mountain against the storm. Wind bends the trees at your base, rain lashes the slopes, yet the peak endures. And in this endurance, there is joy, not the clinging joy of possession, but the serene joy of liberation. You laugh not at life, nor at tragedy, but at the folly of the mind that once believed happiness could be held as if in a palm. You begin to dance with the river, to follow its currents rather than oppose them. You no longer curse the rain, nor the sun, nor the impermanence of all things. Instead, you let the world unfold, and in this unfolding, you discover a freedom so vast it is nearly invisible. The freedom to accept, the freedom to act rightly, the freedom to live in accordance with reason, the only thing truly within your domain. Here, in this space, meditation becomes action, reflection becomes life, awareness becomes an unshakable fortress. And as you practice moment by moment, choice by choice, you notice something extraordinary. The external world, once a tyrant, is now a companion. Events no longer strike you as blows, but as teachers. Criticism no longer wounds, but instructs. Loss no longer devastates, but illuminates the enduring wealth of the mind. The more you cultivate this awareness, the lighter your burdens become, not because the world softens, but because your perception has grown immune to the tyranny of what is not yours. Now, let us dwell on the subtle yet profound distinction between control and influence. Many spend their lives attempting to steer the rivers around them, believing that their power lies in bending events to their will, shaping people, or rewriting circumstances. But this is a mirage. Influence is limited, fleeting, and often illusory. True control resides not in the external, but in the internal. The thoughts you nurture, the judgments you make, the decisions you take within the unshakable citadel of your own awareness. Here lies the crux of Epictetus' teaching. The universe will not comply with your desires, but your mind can remain serene despite its tumult. When the external refuses to bend, the internal stands firm. Consider anger, a storm that rages across human hearts. It seems as though the insult, the injury, the injustice exist as arrows that pierce directly to the soul. But pause, and you will see. The arrow does not strike until the mind permits it. The insult, like a stone tossed into water, is only disruptive if the surface is unprepared. Calm water absorbs it. Turbulent water shatters. By cultivating reason, reflection, and self-mastery, you transform the stone into a ripple that passes, leaving the depths untouched. Each decision to remain conscious, to respond rather than react, reinforces the walls of your fortress. With patience, vigilance, and awareness, the storm no longer commands the day. It becomes a lesson, a movement of energy that cannot harm what is grounded in virtue. Now picture life's inevitable losses. Loved ones depart, health wanes, opportunity slips, reputations falter. To the untrained mind, these are catastrophic, devastating, final. To the Stoic, they are mere changes in the landscape, passing weather over the sky of consciousness. The external forms may vanish, but the capacity for judgment, reflection, and choice remains eternal. You retain the one thing no fortune can touch, the sovereignty over your own mind. This is the ultimate freedom, not to possess the world, but to remain untouched by its transience, to act rightly, to respond with virtue, and to accept what cannot be altered. This is mastery, and mastery, unlike fortune, cannot be stolen. Let us examine daily life, the terrain where this philosophy is truly tested. Traffic jams, long lines, misunderstandings, errors, disappointments. These seem trivial, yet they are the forge of character. Each irritation is an invitation to practice control. Each obstacle a reminder of the distinction between what is yours and what is not. When the mind understands that impatience and frustration are choices, not necessities, it gains a profound serenity. By consciously choosing response over reaction, attention over distraction, reason over impulse, you reinforce your fortress brick by brick. These small moments, overlooked by most, are in fact the foundation of an unassailable life. Reflect now on relationships. Others, no matter how beloved, are never possessions. Their actions, their emotions, their loyalty remain beyond command. To attempt control over them is to surrender your own freedom. True wisdom lies in embracing this reality. The only domain you truly govern is your own response. Compassion, patience, understanding, these are not gifts granted by fortune, but virtues cultivated in the citadel of your mind. When you cease trying to dominate others, when you release the illusion that their behavior determines your peace, you discover a boundless calm. You are no longer buffeted by their storms, but remain the observer, the mindful navigator, the captain of your soul. And consider the rhythm of impermanence. All that exists externally is fleeting: wealth, status, beauty, connection, life itself. The natural mind resists this truth, striving to hold sand in clenched fists, demanding permanence where only flux exists. Yet, when you accept impermanence as the fundamental law of existence, your grip loosens. You see that serenity is not found in possession but in understanding, not in control but in acceptance. Each choice grounded in reason, each decision aligned with virtue, strengthens the inner citadel. This is freedom, to move through life as one moves through a garden, aware, attentive, yet unpossessed by its transient flowers. Finally, we return to the paradoxical delight of Stoic life. External events are neither good nor evil, but your perception transforms them. Misfortune is only misfortune if you permit it. Fortune is only fortune if you grasp it. And in the space between perception and reaction, the sacred pause, resides liberty. Every action of virtue, every moment of mindful reflection, every acceptance of what cannot be changed, constructs an unbreakable fortress of consciousness. The river of life may surge, the storms may howl, yet the observer within remains tranquil, unmoved, sovereign. In this way, by mastering what lies within, the Stoic discovers the profound secret: the mind is its own fortress, and freedom lies in guarding it diligently. Let us now contemplate the subtle artistry of this inner mastery. Life does not present itself as a grand, singular test. It offers a series of delicate, continuous invitations to choose. A word spoken carelessly, a slight in the marketplace, a sudden reversal of fortune, Each is an opportunity to practice the discipline of perception. Imagine a sculptor, chiseling marble not with force but with patience, attention, and understanding of the stone's natural form. So too, the Stoic shapes the mind, not by resisting every impulse but by discerning, refining, and aligning thought with virtue. Each small act of conscious choice is a stroke in the grand sculpture of character, and the final form emerges not from aggression but from gentle, unwavering attention. Now consider the temptation to blame the world, to locate evil and misfortune in external causes. How seductive it is to say, "This happened to me," and feel the injustice of circumstance. Yet the Stoic recognizes that events themselves are neutral. It is the judgment that transforms them. The storm is indifferent, the loss is indifferent, the insult is indifferent. Only your mind renders them cruel or benevolent. By exercising reason in the moment, between stimulus and reaction, you claim the territory that no external power can claim. You convert potential chaos into an opportunity for composure. Every deliberate pause, every choice to act with clarity, reinforces the citadel within. Freedom is not an abstraction. It is the tangible outcome of disciplined awareness. Consider too the nature of desire and attachment. So often we suffer because we chase what lies outside our control: wealth, admiration, affection, success. Yet these are but shadows, ephemeral and unreliable. When you tie your peace to their presence, it becomes hostage to forces beyond your command. The wisdom of Epictetus is luminous here. Relinquish the illusion that your happiness depends on externals. Instead, invest fully in the one sphere over which you have absolute authority: your own mind, your own choices, your own judgment. This is the domain where no thief may enter, where no misfortune may reach, where serenity may flourish despite all turbulence. The fortress is not built to repel the world, it is built to anchor the soul. And let us not neglect the beauty of joy within this framework. Acceptance of what cannot be changed does not diminish life's richness, it heightens it. Just as a musician finds exquisite pleasure in mastering an instrument, so the mind delights in mastering itself. Every thought observed, every emotion acknowledged without being enslaved, every action taken with conscious purpose, these are the harmonies of the inner life. The storms of the world may howl, yet within there is rhythm, there is melody, there is peace. And in this harmony one discovers the profound delight that true freedom affords, a life lived entirely in accord with reason, virtue, and understanding. Picture now the culmination of this practice, the apex of Stoic awareness. External fortune, fame, and favor rise and fall like tides. Friends may leave, bodies may fail, opportunities may vanish, and yet the inner citadel remains. It is not a fortress built of stone or steel, but of clarity, patience, discernment, and reason. It is the quiet golden flame within, untouchable by circumstance, unwavering amid flux. Here, the mind recognizes its sovereignty. Nothing can command it. No loss can diminish it. No praise can inflate it. You are the unshakable observed, the conscious presence, the master of the one kingdom that endures beyond all change. So, my listener, return to the present, to this moment, and ask yourself, how will I meet today's trials? With reflex, reaction, and surrender, or with awareness, choice, and virtue? Each moment presents the same question, repeated endlessly like waves upon the shore. Will you be carried away by impulse, or will you stand as the unmovable rock, watching, breathing, choosing? This is the practice of freedom, the cultivation of peace, the living embodiment of Stoic wisdom. And the reward is extraordinary. Not wealth, not honor, not external security, but something infinitely more precious, the unassailable calm of a mind that knows itself. Finally, contemplate this truth as you carry it into every encounter, every experience. Life is impermanent. The world is unpredictable, yet the mind, trained in reason and virtue, is everlasting. Each choice you make either strengthens or weakens the citadel. Each pause, each reflection, each act of conscious discernment is a brick in the immortal fortress of your consciousness. Stand within it now, breathe, and feel the unshakable foundation beneath you. You cannot control the winds, the tides, or the passage of time, but you can control the helm of your awareness, the direction of your judgment, and the response of your soul. This is the mastery that makes all else trivial, the freedom that renders all external chaos powerless, the serenity that endures while empires crumble and lives fade. And so as you leave this meditation, carry this final reflection. The mind is its own fortress, not because it denies the world, not because it isolates, but because it embraces understanding. Within its walls, reason reigns, virtue prevails, and peace endures. This is the treasure that no one can steal, the stronghold that no fate can shake, the kingdom that endures while all else passes. Guard it diligently, inhabit it fully, and let the outer world move as it will. In this way, life becomes a dialogue rather than a battle, a dance rather than a struggle, and you, the conscious, aware, virtuous being, remain sovereign, free, and profoundly alive.